Hi everyone, this is Dr. Manny, and this is part 2 of our video series discussing how to optimize your force biomechanics in order to reduce your risk of ACL injury. And in this part, we're going to be focusing on mobility, particularly at the ankle joint and at the midfoot joint. When these two joints are stiff, they can reduce how well we loaded our muscles, particularly the foot muscles and the calf muscles, to help accelerate our motion. And in turn, when these muscles are not turning on to decelerate our motion as well, it can reduce the integrity of our ACL because it puts too much stress on the ACL. So what you want to do is really make sure that these two joints are well mobilized before you start any high impact activities in particular. So the first thing that we want to focus on is improving the ankle joints mobility. A simple way to try to increase your ankle's mobility is getting into a starting stance here, driving the knee as far forward as you can, and eventually when and if your ankle joint is very limited, you will hit a point where you feel like you can't go any further. At that stage, you want to just stay there, and you can do a couple of things here. You could stand here for about a minute, or what I like to really task people to do is when they drive the knee as far forward as they can, to rotate side to side for about 5 times, and then try to drive the knee forward further after that, and then rotate 5 times, and then try to drive the knee forward further. Doing this for about a minute, and then again, when you're done on one side, you switch stance, and then repeat on the same side here. Initially, drive the knee as far forward as you can, and then rotate side to side about 5 times, and then try to see if you can drive it further forward, rotate about 5 times. You're going to do this for about a minute, and eventually you might start to feel more stretch in your calves, which is a really good sign that you were doing the exercises correctly. After addressing the ankle joint, the next thing that you want to focus on is the midfoot, and this is often to the individuals that have high arches, particularly stiff high arches, and they're not noticing collapsing of their foot each time they put weight on that foot. And usually how you can tell is just getting into a single leg stance and then rotating away from the stance foot. And let me back up here so you can see me well here. So standing on that one foot and then rotating away from the stance foot. And with people with high arches, and particularly stiff high arches, you will notice that you won't see a change in your foot collapsing as much each time you rotate away from. And this is something that you want to address because again, it helps turn on your foot's muscles. It helps lengthen your foot muscles to help decelerate your motion. And if this is not happening frequently, that's a lot of stress that goes into your knee and thus into your ACL as well. So how do you address this? Simply doing what I am doing repetitively. Again, getting into a staggered stance here, and then twisting your knee of the stance foot towards the non-stance foot here, and try and repeat this about 20 times to repeat to improve your midfoot mobility. When you're done on one side, switch over and then repeat on the other as well. Try to see if you can get your midfoot to collapse a bit. And just getting to improve a tad bit, it will be immense to get those muscles, your foot muscles and your calves as well, to turn on immediately to slow you down as needed so that you don't